Hey, 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 come on in, come on in, come on in. It is Tuesday, it is 8 o'clock Central, and it is once again time for Tea Talk Tuesday. I am T. Carter, the creator and founder of Tea Talk Tuesday, and we're here to edify, encourage, and empower. I don't know about y'all, but life has shown up and life for this sister right here. But nevertheless, what we endure. You just have to remain focused on what God said, and sometimes what He says is to rest. And so we're back. We're here. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for your support. Thank you for jumping in just to see what the Lord downloaded into my spirit. And so, really, today, what I've been meditating on is sometimes we're so focused on the promise that we get frustrated in the process. And so, in my quiet time this week, probably for the last 3-4 weeks, if I'm just going to be honest, it has really been about focusing on the process. Because if I focus on the process, the promise will come. But sometimes we get so focused on the promise that we get frustrated in the process. We get frustrated because it's taking too long. We get frustrated because things aren't working. We get frustrated because sometimes we feel like we've been delayed. We are denied. Things happen that we did not anticipate. And sometimes we get discouraged because we lose sight of the fact that he who began a good work in us will complete it and perform it. And so I just want to encourage you today to focus on the process. And um, like many of you, generally when the Lord is dealing with me, He uses my current situation or something that I'm experiencing in life to help really land His point. And so what I've learned is that breaking is a part of the building process. And so for the most of this year, um, my word for this year is to really be focused on presenting my body a living sacrifice. And for me, like a living sacrifice isn't my money, but it is really what I do with this vessel that God has given me. And so that for me has translated into improving my physical health, making sure that I do my part to ensure that I'm able to carry out the assignment on, that God has put on the inside of me to really be able to hold up this mandate and do what God has given me to do. And so, like most people, and like I've done so many times before, I say, okay, I just need to lose a little weight. And I can do that before. I've done it so many times, but it's one thing to lose it, it's another thing to keep it off. And so, what I've learned is that just like God gives us a measure of faith, He also gives us one physical body. It's unique and it's capable of growing, but I have to do my part. Just like the measure of faith is a divine gift, it is the starting point. But just like I need to build muscles in the spirit and exercise my faith, I actually have to do that same process in the natural if I'm going to become stronger, if I'm going to become more resilient. And so, I did what I could do in my own strength, and I reached a point in this process where I felt like it was necessary for me to solicit the help of someone who had gone before, who was able to help me and guide me along this path. And so um, I was dedicated. I had been taking time to exercise and do the things that I needed to do, but I reached a point where what I could do was no longer enough, and I needed a guide. And so um, I decided that the easiest thing for me to do would be to actually contract with a trainer, right? And so I talked to the trainer, and the trainer was like, "Help me to understand your goals, help me to understand your vision, what you want to achieve, you know." And we had the conversation, and it was all good. Like, and these are the things that you need. These are the requirements. This is how often you need to train. And because I was focused on the promise, um, I just saw this as a necessary step, right? But not something that I really need to invest in. And what I realized is that, if you're going to go on this journey, it takes dedication. You have to set aside each day to exercise, just like we have to dedicate time to grow and build our faith. We have to be consistent because we understand that if I'm building muscle and I'm building strength, it doesn't come from a single workout before consistent effort. Just like if I'm going to build my faith, it's strengthened through regular practices. Like what worked in 2019 is not working in 2024. And so the consistency is going to be required both in the physical and in the spiritual. And another part of this process that I knew that I did not fully appreciate is that I had to be able to embrace discomfort, because I understand that building muscle often involves pushing past the pain, pushing past the discomfort, knowing that that process is going to lead to growth. And, as I went and I did a study on muscle as I was preparing for today. And what we found is that in order for the muscle to grow, it has to break, right? And so when I'm in the gym, when I'm exercising these muscles, I have to push it to the point where it actually destroys what I have so it can grow into what it has the capability to be. And I think in this season of life, some of us are experiencing trials and challenges that are so uncomfortable. They're causing us so much pain and frustration. And it serves as like this spiritual weightlifting. It is the testing of our faith, as James referred to in James 1. It's the testing of our faith, testing of our faith through these different trials, because we know that the testing of our faith produces perseverance. And so we need to be able to embrace these challenges in order to fortify our faith. And so I went, I signed up for this trainer. We did all of these. He was telling me, like, your body is going to be made in the kitchen. Like your muscle is built in the gym, but your body's made in the kitchen. So, your diet is going to be crucial. And I think, like, for me, I like it's the bread. It's the bread. It's the bread from the restaurant, and then it's the bread of heaven that feeds me. But I'm noticing that if I'm going to reach this goal, the bread from Longhorn probably not going to be on my list, and I've come to accept that. And just like even when we're in the spirit, like we need proper nourishment. So the things that are comfortable, the words that tickle our fancy, the sermons that make us feel good about our complacency, they're not going to help us grow. So we have to get to the place where we create an appetite for the things that are beneficial to our spiritual and natural growth and development. So I went to the gym. I'm gonna do it before I go to work is what I decided. So that way I don't have any excuses. I'll do it first thing in the morning. And what what I learned is that you're not gonna be able to do this on an empty stomach. And I think some of us are trying to fight and we're empty, right? And so there is the situation takes an advantage over us because we don't have the fuel we need to fight when we step into the ring. And so my trainer was saying, hey, don't come in here if you haven't eaten like an hour before you get here. I need for you to eat, but I don't need you to just eat anything. I need for you to eat the things that are going to strengthen you and give you the nutrition that you need in order to complete this assignment, in order to complete this training session. And so I was like, oh, I don't normally eat that early in the morning, but okay, I'm going to go ahead and try it. And I think that for me really connected is that sometimes I'm so used to fighting that I don't even check to see if I have the capacity in my faith, I have the capacity in my spirit, that my prayer life, that I'm strengthened, that I'm filled up and I'm fortified before I step into this thing. But I took my protein shake 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm at the gym. I said, God, I'm gonna do this, and I need your strength to be made perfect in my weakness. And yeah, I committed. Like the thing was, I signed up for this, and I said, yes, this is what I need because I was focused on the promise. And I knew that I was going to have to lift some weights. I knew, that I was going to have to walk and run. I knew I was going to have to sweat. That's why I got the braids in my hair. But I did not expect that in order for me to reach this goal, that I would have to be pushed past my comfort zone. I would have to endure hardness, child, as just hardness. I don't know if I endured it as a good soldier or not, but I did endure it. That in order for me to actually realize what I believe has been presented to me as an opportunity, I had to do things that will cause pain. I had to make a decision to separate myself from some of the things that I liked and embrace things that I don't really care for at all. And I was in a training session earlier this week, and child, I couldn't even pray. I was so mad. I was frustrated, and I was irritated, and I was aggravated because this trainer was asking me to do things that I didn't think I was physically capable of doing. But what I did not realize at the time and didn't care to even discuss is that the trainer that I had selected had been to school for this. This is not their first rodeo. They had seen people and the space that I'm in and the level that I'm in, and they understood and they understand what it will take for me to get from where I am to where I say I want it to be. And so, although I was frustrated, it did not phase the trainer because the trainer already understood that there was process to this and there were levels to this. And what I was told is that most people tap out in the first 4 to 6 weeks, because in the first 4 to 6 weeks, that's when you have to make all of the commitment and you must be consistent. But you may not see, depending on how much weight and your physical condition at the time, you may not see the results that you're looking for, but you still have to remain consistent, understanding that what's happening under what you can see will reveal itself in the 4 to 6 weeks. He also told me that in the first 4 to 6 weeks, you'll experience more pain. It'll be very uncomfortable. You'll finish the session and you'll be sore for 2 or 3 days. And then as soon as you start to feel better, you got to come and work that muscle again. And so, although people say this is what they want, the pain of the process determines whether or not they continue to produce. And he said to me that, but if you can just stay committed for 4 to 6 weeks, the first thing that will happen is that other people will begin to see the change. You'll feel better, but you may look the same. And sometimes I think that's what happens in the spirit. Like we notice that, our anxiety is better, maybe our depression is, it doesn't look on the outside that anything has changed, but internally, we're noticing that we're not what we used to be. We're able to sleep at night. Maybe we're not crying as much. Maybe we have more peace. We have more clarity because we're following the instruction that we've been given, but there may not be an outward manifestation. My money still may be crazy. My children may be crazy. My relationships may be upside down. I still may be trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, but there's something happening on the inside of me that gives me the insurance to know that the Lord who began a good work in me is perfecting it. And so and he said to me that probably about 12 weeks after you've gone through this process, after you've endured the pain, after you've pushed past your limitations, after you've endured things that you didn't think you had the ability to endure, after other people have noticed an external change that you can't see, after you begin to understand internally that it won't always be like this, and you begin to see things, to feel things in your body that may not be visible, if you continue in this process, at about the 12-week mark, you then will be able to see what others see. You'll be able to see the things that used to frustrate you don't frustrate you no more. The things that used to be out have come in. The things that used to be sagging have become firm. All of these things have happened. And so I was so focused on that that I forgot how many exercises I was gonna have to do in 12 weeks, how many drops of sweat I was gonna have to sweat in 12 weeks, how many times that I was going to have to eat things that were healthy but not really part of my appetite at the moment. I forgot because I was so focused on 12 weeks. And in this process, this week we hit a child. We hit a point. Me and Miss Trini, y'all pray for us because we gonna endure it, but we're just trying to stay on this side of freedom. And so I was at a place that I just said, bro, you have lost your ever loving mind. You have got on my last nerve, and then you found three more nerves that I didn't even know I had, and you got on those two, and it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and you got me lifting stuff that I don't feel like I need to be lifting. You got me bending in ways that, hey, my knees, like these knees is over 40. I really don't understand. You got me doing ropes and running, but my Bible says that the evil man runneth when no one is chasing him. I don't understand. I don't understand why we're here. I don't understand why I got to go through this. I just feel like you have lost your mind. And without even missing a beat, the trainer said to me, but this is what you paid me for. I'm doing my job. What if the things that are frustrating us, what if the things that are causing us to want to give up and tap out, what if the things that are causing us to contemplate, maybe 30 days in the penitentiary, maybe those things have been sent to do a job, to try our faith, because the Bible says that the trying of our faith worketh patience. Maybe those situations that we encounter that frustrate us, that make us, child. I was at the gym and I was thinking about. So I said, if you bring another dumbbell over here, child, y'all better help. But what if those things are what is required for us to fulfill purpose? Because what I know is that if purpose requires me to lift 50 pounds, I got to start with 5, because I have to build up my muscle. And in the spirit, if purpose requires me to believe for 300 to be saved, I got to start with believing for the one. And so although it's uncomfortable, because it may not be what I'm used to, it still is a part of the process. And the trainer said to me as we were going through this session that I thought would never end, he said to me, the problem is not that you don't have the ability. The problem is that you don't have the mental capacity. And because you think that this is impossible, it becomes impossible for you. But I'm looking at you and I'm telling you that I'm experiencing this. And the only thing that is limiting you right now is you. So if you were to get out of your mindset, and if you were to push yourself past your limitation, you would be able to do exactly what I'm challenging you to do, because you have the capability to do it. You just don't have the mental capacity yet. And so some of the things that you need in order to be successful in the gym happens outside of the gym. Right? Some of the things that we need to be able to win the fight happen outside of the ring. Right? How well are we prepared? How well are we doing the pre-work? How much time do we spend focused on prayer and focused on the things that gird us up so that we're able to fight the good fight of faith? And so I was going through. Because one thing about me, baby, you may see me sweat, but you're not gonna comfort me. And if the only thing that's gonna get me through this workout is my stubbornness, you will never say I give up, because I'm not gonna give up. I might talk trash the whole time, but I'm gonna get through it, because you'll never say I couldn't do it. And so there was a point, so I was pushing myself and I was like, okay, child, like, if I die, I die. Like, we going out. You're not gonna pump me out. I didn't came too far. I got 15 minutes left. Surely I can do this. And I got to the point where I said, all right, bro, I feel like I'm about to pass out. And he said to me, like, no, he said, oh, that's how you know you're really working out. I said, I feel like I'm about to hit the ground. You don't understand what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I'm about to have a medical emergency and you still want me to do these squats. I don't think you're listening to me. And what he said is that, no, you're not going to pass out. You just need water. How many times in the fight, how many times during the challenge do we say, I'm not going to give up. I just need living water. I just need the Lord to fill me up again. I can get through this. I just need another touch. I just need a more of your spirit. I just need you to fill me up for this fight. I'm not going to tap out, but I feel like it. I feel like this thing is going to overtake me. But I understand that you are living water. I believe that your strength is made perfect in my weakness. I know that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So rather than me tap out, I'm going to tap in and I'm going to get another drink of the living water. And so I was like, okay, like I don't even have the strength or the energy to argue with you. Like, I just want to make sure that if something happens to me at this gym, let the record reflect that I told you that I couldn't do this, right? But because what I got to lose at this point, like I'm too far out here, I'm too far gone. You out here pushing me, telling me what I can do, and I'm over here saying, look, bruh, stop it. Just stop talking because you're not listening. I don't have the energy or the breath to communicate with you. And he said, just catch your breath. I said, honey, I can't catch my breath. My breath has run so far from me that I can't catch that. I can't catch nothing else. I'm just trying to get through this. But I realized that when I followed the instruction, even though I didn't understand, even though I thought that thing was going to take me out, when I listened to the voice that I didn't want to listen to, when I followed the instruction that I didn't want to follow, when I continued to lift, even though, child, my legs was cramping, my arms were sore, but I said, I just have to stay focused on this process because I understand even though this is painful, he's not trying to kill me. He's trying to push me into purpose. And so I can't be mad at the trainer because he's doing his job. He's doing what he was sent to do. He's doing what I asked him to do because I'm the one who said I had a vision. I'm the one who said, hey, I need for you to train me. He didn't come knock on my door and say, hey, I'm looking for people to train. No, I went looking for him. I sought him out and said, hey, this is what I feel like God is calling me to do. And I just don't have like the necessary education in these things. And while I could go to Google and do all these things and try to figure it out, I have full confidence based on your track record that you already know how to do this. So rather than me getting all frustrated and doing all this, I'm just going to tap in with you because you're the expert. But now I'm tapped into the expert. I don't like the advice. And so now I'm just like, bro, what did I sign up for? But I got through the session through the grace of God. I didn't go to jail. Thank you, Jesus. And then he said to me, you made it. And now I need for you to go and rest because you need recovery. And you don't recover while you're fighting. In order for you to recover, you need to rest. In order for you to be prepared for the next session where I'm going to push you harder, I need for you to rest. And that for me is a little bit challenging because I like to produce. I like to be productive. I just feel like there's something in my personality that says that I have to be moving forward, that I have to do these things. But I'm learning in this season that rest is essential for recovery. And really, in our faith, is essential for like our reflection. Like Psalms 46 says us to be still and know that God is God. And how much time do we take time to rest in God's presence? Not that I'm not active, like not that I'm not producing, but I'm actually resting and allowing my faith to recover and grow stronger in the Lord. And so I just wanted to encourage you today just to stay focused on the process, because the Bible says that the promises of God are yes and amen. Yes, and it is so. But there's a process, right? If you look at the Bible, it says, like, there's a contingency: give, and it shall be given unto you. Ask, seek, knock, and the door shall be open. So there's this process that we must have to go through, that we must go through to receive the promise, right? So I have the promise. The promise is a given. I just have to do my part. I just have to stay focused on the process. And so that's your encouragement for this Tuesday. Just stay focused, y'all. Stay focused on the process. And sometimes, we get overwhelmed because the process may have 500 steps. My process may have 30 steps. But the only thing I'm focused on is the step that's in front of me, because today has enough worry for itself. I don't need to worry about tomorrow, but I need to focus on what God is doing in my life today. Not that I don't have a strategy, but tomorrow will take care of itself. And so, whatever God has told you to do in this season, we all have gifts, we all have anointings. Many of us have prophecies that have been spoken over our lives. And sometimes we may feel like we're behind, that we got distracted, that these things have gone on, and I should be further along. I should have achieved this, but I can't do anything about what has happened. Is the past has passed, right? So the only thing that I can do is condemn myself over what happened and what didn't happen. But I have full control over what I do now. And so I just want to encourage you to focus on the step that's in front of you. Like when I go to the gym, and some people can lift 100 pounds, some people can lift 50. Chad, ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm going to lift what I can lift. And sometimes the only thing I can lift is my body weight, because, child, I got extra. And that's enough. That's where I am in my process. 10 steps from now, 6 months from now, I'll be at a different stage in the process. But right now, if I allow myself to be so focused on what other people can do that I can't do, they maybe have committed to this thing long before I was. They may have been more consistent. They may have applied themselves in ways that I can't. They may not have the same issues like in health. They may not have the same body type. It doesn't matter. I have to run my race with patience. And so I just want to encourage you again, not to be discouraged, not to be dismayed, not to get overwhelmed by what has happened, but to stay focused on the process, specifically the step that's right in front of you. Because if I focus on the step that's right in front of me and making sure that I overcome that challenge, then I'll have a little bit more strength and a little bit more faith for the step ahead of that one. And so that's your encouragement for this Tuesday. Thank you again for taking time out of your Tuesday to stop in and see what the Lord downloaded into my spirit. If you believe that this word will be an encouragement for anyone else, we do encourage you to like, comment, and share. We will be back next Tuesday. But as always, if you have any feedback, anything, we appreciate your comments. We appreciate your feedback, and reach out to us. But until next time, we do want to encourage you now unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask, think, or imagine, according to the power that works in you. So let the power of God work in you, and let God do what only he can do through you. I love y'all. Y'all go have a great rest of your Tuesday, whatever day you may be watching this. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place.